What's up, guys? Today I have a great news for you in crypto space, and it's not that we have like a jump or something in the price, but we may have this jump very soon, maybe even this year. I don't say tomorrow, but very soon. And we will return to the price analysis and what is happening with it a little later after we will discuss this issue about the potential of the growth and why it could happen. This news appeared in the internet, and this is about the adoption of Bitcoin. Amazon of Japan, Rakuten, it's a global internet store and with a huge market, especially in Japan. It is likely to introduce Bitcoin payments. And if you remember, we were talking about like Starbucks payment for your coffee with Bitcoin. It will be huge adoption and huge actually change of the understanding of people and about crypto and accepting the crypto and change of the narrative in general. Like people would not think anymore that this is some kind of scam or something. And this very similar thing would be expected if, for example, Amazon will introduce Bitcoin payments, and it's still around like hints of these things to happen, but there's nothing really clear. And recently about Rakuten, which is very similar to Amazon again, and it's not that huge, it's not that global, but it's really similar. So it appeared to be that we have a rumor, again, buy the rumor, sell the news, and now we have the rumor, or at least quite of a strong implication, quite of the hint that they will include Bitcoin payments in their service. And why is that they acquired in September 2018 the company Everybody's Bitcoin, so it will be stopped its service in March 2019, but Rakuten may continue it. Well, actually it should continue its work because of their plans. So well, not continue, but start the work again. And interesting that Rakuten is going through a corporate restructuring in which its various businesses and subsidiaries would be consolidated in four major businesses. First is internet service, communication, fintech, and settlements. So structuring will be completed by April 2019, so very soon. According to the documents released by Rakuten, Everybody's Bitcoin will become a part of Rakuten's settlements business rather than the fintech business. Rakuten Settlements will be responsible for serving, processing, and settling all payments of Rakuten businesses, which would imply that the possibility of using, well, so why they used Everybody's Bitcoin, for which purpose? Not for like getting gains or investing in Bitcoin or getting like expanding their business through crypto. No, they actually will use it probably for the payments. That is really massive, guys. And what they said when they bought the Everybody's Bitcoin is also the role of cryptocurrencies based payments in e-commerce, offline retail, and P2P payments will grow in the future, which again would means that they would actually considering it to be game changer, and they would like to have their position in the field. So in fact, we know that in Japan, Bitcoin is actually the official currency, and it's legal to use and everything, and it happened from I think June or something, or maybe May and June, July, I don't remember exactly the month, but somewhere around there in 2017, and was a huge news and was a great boost for Bitcoin and crypto. And now it seems like in such a friendly environment, if they were change it to the even such an adoption, that would be a great push forward. So again, happen in the country which already is really friendly to Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be really surprised that it would happen. It doesn't mean that will happen in April or something, but maybe 2019 even. Not exactly, not clearly in 2019, not necessarily, but things are evolving very, very fast. And when we have this change of the trend of Bitcoin drop and everything, we may see this as the first signs of the reversal. So again, buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't say take the loan and buy Bitcoins and everything, but you guys just consider this. Not investment advice, right? Not financial advice. Another news, very funny news, I would say. South Korean exchange loses $5 million in accidental Bitcoin airdrop. So instead of airdropping WGT, WeGame tokens as they planned, they made an airdrop of Bitcoin. So it's really hilarious. And also they airdropped Korean won instead of those tokens, and they want to return them back, but it's really hard. Nobody wants to give back Bitcoins when they should get just some pretty much useless, or at least not useless, but cheap, very cheap token. A lot of fun. Some people are speculate that this was the reason to drop of Bitcoin, but not so much of the reason to think that, in my opinion. Another thing which is important to think of is that there's an opinion that the mass adoption and actually the push of crypto will happen when or actually in the areas where there are huge economic problems and hyperinflation, everything, which we may often see in such areas like Argentina, Venezuela, and everything, in Peru. And now we see the increased volume of the trading on local Bitcoins in South American countries, and this is really huge. Actually, of course, this is in the currencies of those countries, and you may think it's really hyperinflated, so you would expect that it may happen. But actually, if you will recalculate it through the USD values, then you would see that actually it's growing first, and second, even though there was this drop in 2018, then we still return pretty much back up quite abruptly recently. So it's indeed a sign and indeed need to be considered. And the last thing is that one of the asset management firms, namely Lucid Investment Strategies, said that the Bitcoin price could one day reach $10 million, become the new gold standard, and solve the world's debt crisis. They say that debt is estimated now to $147 trillion compared to $317 trillion in total world wealth. So we need to somehow deal with that, and there's a huge global crisis behind the corner, around the corner, and we need to have a solution. And they say Bitcoin may be such a solution. If it will be, then it will take a huge part of the capitalization and the market share of total economic wealth, and then it's really easy to become $100+ trillion capitalization, which would imply 100 to 200, which would imply $10 million per Bitcoin. Of course, it is just a possibility, as they say. They don't say that will happen, but they are considering this as so they say, do we believe Bitcoin will be chosen? That is the wrong question. The right question is whether there be a choice. So yes, they believe that there is a chance this to happen, and of course we need to change this condition right now. We need to return to bull market, yada yada yada. But that's really the route, the path which can happen. So, and also there is a guy Murat Mahmudov, which was on the podcast with Anthony Pompliano. I really recommend you to check this out. A great episode about Bitcoin. And he also said that basically eventually he believes that Bitcoin will have 180, I think 160 he said, $1 trillion capitalization, which would imply within current value of the dollars, so which would imply huge value of the price per Bitcoin, maybe $10 million per one Bitcoin, which 10 times more than John McAfee quote-unquote conservative estimation. So let's see, but very bullish, but at the same time quite reasonable if you look in the long term. Okay, let's return to the price again, and what you see generally, I need to remind you just briefly that we are still in the same corridor of the price, but the thing is, we were seeing this consolidation before. Then we collected the stop, we hit the stop below that, then higher than that, then made one more volume collection by hitting the price higher than a lot of the stop orders which were placed above this level. Now we try to do the same thing with those levels, and quite of the chance that we'll try to collect stops below this level of 3,480. Everything is on Coinbase, so we are basically increase the amplitude of those swings of the price, and yeah, it's really likely that we go a little bit lower and then higher than this level and maybe higher than this level. So it's everything is really speculative, but the thing is to consider is that a lot of people are saying, hey, we have the $3,200 as a lowest point, but we didn't see a lot of the volume at this point, and we should see some kind of the Gaussian distribution of the volume to see the biggest volume at the bottom, then it will be a real bottom. So they call for $1,000, $2,000 or whatever to observe this condition, and didn't see it yet. What I must say to that is, if you look at actually it's better to look at the BLX, which is Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin, averaging a lot of the exchanges and make some corrections on the volume. So again, that's right, here we don't see a lot of the like huge peak of the volume at the very bottom, at the very low, but a lot of people are comparing this to the situation 2014 to 2015, when we had the lowest point of 160 or 170 something per Bitcoin, 162 or whatever, and we had indeed the biggest volume at the bottom right here, and then we have the decrease of the volume and so on and so forth. So we should see the same situation, they said, as in 2015 we saw at the very bottom. But you should consider that at this point the infrastructure and the whole space was very, very mature, and now we have such things as huge OTC market, for example, and on the OTC market, the volume is maybe 2, 3 or more, as a lot of people implied or speculated. A lot of volume there, maybe more than spot for 2, 3 times at least. So we don't know the volume on the OTC market, and I would say that it's really likely that there is a huge volume and huge area of the feeling the bottom, feeling this area with the trades on OTC. So, and also the thing which should be considered is, if you would like to have the trade on your OTC on the OTC market for buying, for example, people who are manipulating the price would like to buy the Bitcoin at $4,000, for example. So they would have to keep the price for a while, and actually to make even the pressure downwards, to make the price go 3,500 or lower, to make the other players on OTC market believe that the price will go lower. So they would agree to sell those huge players their Bitcoin at $4,000, and this is exactly what is happening now. Of course, it's the controversial logic, and you may think of the counter arguments, but it seems to be really reasonable. So if we would know, just to know the volume over there, then it will be much more clear, in my opinion. And yeah, I think this is really thing to happen. In any case, if this is true, then we will see the reversal pretty much soon, especially considering the ETF decision on 2019 February 27th. So not so much time left, and for those OTC deals to happen. So we'll see. So far, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow in the next daily update of crypto market condition. Thank you again, and safe trading, guys. Goodbye.